that bushing is split inside. I don't think it should. Oh yeah, no. Wow. Hello and welcome to the garage. Today we're going to be working on the Pathfinder. Rather than this being a typical how-to video, we're just going to be doing my own thing here. So what are we doing? We're changing out control arm bushings. So this vehicle has developed some driving characteristics that make me believe that the control arm bushings have gone bad up front. So with that, we're doing polyurethane bushings because fix it right, fix it once. So to make this a little bit easier on installation day, I've taken the time and I pulled donor control arms from the salvage yard, and I cut and chipped and hammered and chiseled the old rubber bushings out of these in preparation for new ones. Got a little bit of that Rust-Oleum rust converter spray on there, kind of cover up a little bit of the rust spotting. And these polyurethane bushings, it's a kit that you buy on 4x4parts.com. There are some other vendors of these, but this time this is what I went with. Also, we're going to go a little extra on this. We're going to try to drill and tap grease zerk holes to run some grease zerks into this. We've got our drill bit and tap, and we've got a grease gun filled with the silicone grease. I've read that this is the better grease to use on polyurethane. So to do this, let's go ahead and start removing the original control arms. Take it from there. So alright, we've got the drill bit with the tap that came with it. Everything tapped and drilled like it should. Alright, so doing a test fit with the grease zerk. Everything fits perfect as far as the tapping goes. It does stick into the board just a little bit, but we're going to file that down so that way we don't have any clearance issues with the bushings. Alright, so I don't quite have this hole centered all the way. So if you look, the grease zerk that's going to protrude through the bottom of this is going to be interfering with the space of the bushing. So I'm going to need to trim some of this bushing back in a section. Okay, so we took our Dremel with a polishing stone and we kind of gouged out a relief in there. That should allow a grease zerk to nestle inside that little gap there. Alright, so we used a mallet to push this side of the bushing in. And the little cutout more or less matches the grease access hole. Alright, so we've got both sides of the bushings in. We're a little scarred up on that little ring because I had to use a punch to kind of help get it to go on straight, but it's in there. So we've drilled through the bracket that holds the control arm to the vehicle, and we put a grease zerk in that. And we've also drilled this out. It does go all the way through, so that way we should be able to lubricate this if it starts squeaking. It's all lubed up. So if you look, there's a flat spot and then there's the rounded spot. This is the control arm's top side. Notice it's kind of rounded, whereas right here we got sharp edges. So round on top round on top. That's how we're going to go. Just going to fit it on there. Just like that. The thing I'm doing is taking the Dremel with the polishing stone, and I'm just ever so lightly subtracting like hardly anything just on the leading edge of this metal. And then I'm also taking that polishing stone and then introducing a slight chamfer to the leading edge of both sides of this bore. Now that we have both control arms prepped, as well as the brackets prepped, we'll go ahead and start removing the old control arms with their bushings. Alright, so the 3/17mm nuts are removed. That disconnects the control arm from the ball joint. This little piece will stay in here for now. I'm going to try to remove the control arm without removing the CV axle. Start on this. And behind, on the back side of the control arm, got two 22mm bolts that hold this bracket on, as well as my missing link. The bolt goes through my missing link, through the bracket, into the unibody. Alright, so missing link I'm going to have to loosen on the other side. Okay. So the bracket fell off. Control arm's dangling back here. Let's see if I can articulate the ball joint. That wasn't too bad. Alright, so with the control arm removed, take a look and assess the damage of it. The back is showing definitely some signs of deterioration. But the front, I believe, is the culprit for the driving. Yeah, it looks like that bushing is split inside. I don't think it should. Oh yeah, no. Wow. Alright, we've got a new control arm. And that through the ball joint. Tilt it up. got to get a bolt through here. Okay. Alright, I'm going to see if I can grease this up well. We've got the articulation bent down on this control arm. There we go. I think we filled it up pretty good. Put this on loosely for now. Put a bracket with greaser. Yeah, I think that'll work. So we've clocked the bushing, the flat part straight. We got our bracket with the greaser. We'll loosely put these bolts on. Go ahead and charge it with some grease. Alright, we got grease coming out. Now we're back at the ball joint. Alright, and this is calling out for 76 to 94 foot-pounds of torque. Okay. Alright, so at this point, we have the new control arms installed. The hardware that holds this part of the control arm in is not tight, nor is it back there for that. Now, before I set this vehicle on the ground, I did have the ball joint nuts tight and torqued to spec, as well as the lug nuts. Now that the vehicle is at its resting position and under its full weight, we will now torque down the front bolts and the two back bolts. I'm going to start with the two back bolts. It's about 100 foot-pounds of torque according to the factory service manual, so I will start back there. And I've already applied grease to these. Alright, that part's done. I'll just repeat this on the passenger side. Okay, now we're going to torque these down. It's like 69 to 96 foot-pounds of torque. We'll just call it 75. All right, and repeat for the other side. Well, after a week of driving, results are they work like they should. No squeaks, no pops. They definitely feel more solid, as they should, because I was driving with a cracked bushing beforehand. If anything changes, I'll be sure to update. Thanks for watching.